You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh, yeah, every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is all about. Those little moments between chaos and calm, where you're just trying to breathe, but life keeps happening.
Welcome to I Just Sat Down, the podcast for moms, women, and multitaskers who do it all and somehow still manage to laugh about it.
I'm Desi, mom, entrepreneur, serial enthusiast, and fully committed to figuring it out as I go.
And I'm Krystal, multi-passionate entrepreneur, mom of chaos, coffee enthusiast, and believer that a good laugh can fix almost anything.
Every week, we're diving into the messy middle of life. Parenting, work, relationships, identity, all the real, unfiltered stuff that no one warned us about.
We'll share stories, a few hard truths, and definitely some laughs, because if we can't laugh through it, we might just cry instead.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down.
Before we begin, we want to gently let you know that today's episode includes a discussion of pregnancy loss and miscarriage. We share this with care and respect, knowing this topic can be tender or activating for some listeners. Please feel free to skip this episode or pause and return when you feel it's right for you. As always, take care of yourself first. You are not required to listen to anything that doesn't feel supportive in this moment.
Hey, and welcome back to I Just Sat Down. I'm here with Krystal. Hey, Krystal.
Hi.
So before rushing into what's next, this moment is about pausing right here at the end of 2025. This year asked a lot of us. It stretched us, softened us, and in many moments, likely exhausted us. This episode isn't about recapping achievements or setting pressure-filled goals. It's about noticing what this year actually did to us in our bodies, in our relationships, and in how we see ourselves. This is a space to reflect on what 2025 taught us, what we are carrying forward, and what we are gently choosing to leave behind. If listening brings up pride, disappointment, relief, or uncertainty, we are exactly where you belong. Let's take a moment together and sit with the truth of this year. So if you couldn't already tell, we are reflecting on our 2025. This is our year-end recap, so to speak. So
That already made me emotional. I'm like, oh God. This year is something. So
I'm so proud of us for like putting this together and actually like committing. We're like a scheduled podcast. That's a big deal. Like that doesn't usually happen.
that is great. We are what, 20?
This is our 20th episode.
That's so crazy. Like that's amazing. I feel like that is like such a huge accomplishment. And I think honestly, once we hit the end of this episode, people are going to be like, wow, that was a year. And I still showed up to do this. So
yeah.
Anyways, okay. Whew, I pulled 2 cards today because I just felt like I needed them. So I pulled them from my super attractor.
Ooh, Gabby Bernstein. We love her.
We do. So my super attractor power comes from how I feel in my faith and love and the joy I put out. And then the other one was I let the universe catch up with my dreams. So I don't know how those really resonate today, but maybe after this episode, I'll read them again and be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's about reflecting on the things after the fact, right? When you're in the midst of anything, it's just like you hear it and you're like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's really what it is, right? And then afterwards you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think for this episode, for myself, I think that there was a lot of hard things that happened this year that I walked through. And so I just made like a little gratitude list of like, so many people are like, oh, can't wait to leave 2025 behind. I'm ready. It was like the same in 2020. Can't wait to leave this year behind, but like there's still good things in the year. So I
Right.
made a list of the good things that have happened so that I can kind of remind myself that no matter how hard the year is, there's always going to be more good than there is bad. And I'm grateful for that, right? Because, I'm sure that's not the case for everyone.
Mhm.
But yeah, so, my business continues to grow. I'm always seeing new clients come in. I'm always seeing new people every year. So that's the only thing you can ask for in business, right? Is the continuous growth.
Yeah.
Um, Dave and I started a new business. So obviously that's been a blessing and it's been crazy. And I mean, obviously we'd love for it to be busier, but like if I'm really looking at things, like we started this business the end of August and we've already sold over 800 magnets, which
Wow. That's
pretty crazy.
huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a
So,
huge accomplishment. Yeah.
so yeah, it's been a big thing and hopefully going into 2026 it'll be even better.
And it's
Uh,
like any learning curve, right? Like everything when you're learning it, it just takes
for
that little bit
sure.
of time for it to either gain traction
Yeah.
or for new ideas, listen to your intuition for new ideas to pop in. Like you came up with a lot of good ideas along with the magnets. You weren't just pressing magnets, you were coming up with different things as well along the way, right? So give
Yeah.
yourself grace there.
Yeah. And then, everyone's happy and mostly healthy. We'll just pretend like this month didn't happen because we've been stricken with the never-ending flu symptoms. But, little man started a new school and he's been really thriving there. I feel like he was thriving in his other place, but I just think with the routine that he has now, like things are just going so well and he's really happy there. He loves his teachers. So I'm super thrilled for that. And then obviously our podcast is on here, which I think is still just like crazy that we're at 20 episodes. Like that is such a huge accomplishment for me to commit to something for that long that
Mhm.
isn't my photography business or something to do with the little guy. Like
Yeah.
that's a long commitment. Um, and then, I've been focusing a little bit more on like the affiliate marketing and like that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to grow in that way. So I've got some cool opportunities coming up, which I think is really nice. My bestie got engaged. That's
Aw.
huge. Dave's gonna be the best man. I get to be the co-maid of honor. So we're super excited for that. Can't wait. Hopefully she's listening. Congrats. Um,
Congratulations.
and and yeah, I think like obviously I said about my business, like it's continuing to grow. And yeah, so those are some good things that came out of this year.
I love that you chose to focus on the gratitude of it. I think because my year started so heavy and chaotic, it was like, okay, like what did I get through at the beginning of this year? Like what kind of things did I have to pivot and change and adjust to? And as much as I was like, the end of last year, I was like, wow, I'm like, I feel so healed. I've done so much work on myself and I've, gone through these big changes for myself. And then 2025 literally was like, hold my beer because it was like, as much as you think that you're healed, we're going to fuck shit up a little bit and give you a little shake. And I think that in the beginning of the year, I was like blaming myself a lot for my emotions because in my own head, I was like, okay, am I taking this healing thing too far? Because other people were questioning me. So I was starting to question myself. And I was thinking, like, okay, am I healing myself to the point where like I'm pushing everybody away?
Right.
Am I opening up things that I didn't notice before because now that I have this like, quote unquote veil lifted from me, I'm
Mhm.
seeing all these unhealed people around me not doing work on their own shit. And I can't, it's hard for me to be around that when I would be like, if you want to be the best version, you can try this or whatever. And I'm not big on advice. Like I fucking hate giving advice because I don't want advice. Usually
And
like,
people don't usually take it.
no,
Let's
no.
be honest, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell
So that's
people everything. Think back to when we were, dating the wrong boys. No one's gonna tell you he's shit until you
yeah.
break up with him.
Yeah.
No one's gonna say like, "Oh, I friggin' hated him," because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to make you feel bad, and they know
will
that
not listen.
you got to learn the lesson on your own, right? You got to
Yeah,
learn
it's
the
so
lesson.
true. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year I think started off on a weird foot. I went through like a lot of like I was going through a lot of like health issues at the same time. So I was like, again, because I'm into the somatics and healing and everything else, as you're getting rid of a lot of things, I feel like your body also protrudes these illnesses and these
Yeah.
weaknesses or whatever. So I was going through a lot of health things that I was trying to understand through the mental. And it was really, really tough because I wasn't really getting answers. And then I was confused about my relationships in my life and all these things all at once. So it was like, okay, I just kept having to remind myself that, like, I'm big on when one door closes, another one opens. When you're closing off a chapter of your life, it's because you're making room for what you're supposed to be going towards next. And having that heavy mindset focus is like what got me through the first half of this year, right?
Right.
Like I kept thinking, like, what is my purpose? What am I doing this for? Am I intentionally hurting myself by closing off this chapter and then seeing all these friendships that I thought that were like so meaningful to me not be reciprocated on the other end. Like I lost a lot of people in my life that I didn't really like lean into, but I felt like, wow, this is like everything that I've always wanted. And I was so like enamored by everything that I had at that time. And then I was like, fuck, I'm like a victim of self-sabotage because I always used to tell myself when something gets good, it's too good to be true. And I would sabotage that shit. And I don't believe that about myself anymore. I truly don't think that that's what I do. But in that moment, I was giving myself grief and telling myself, like, you know, whatever happens to you right now is because you made this decision. And I know that there's a bigger reason, but at the same time, like, did I do this to myself to see who would stick around? Did I do this to myself to
Right.
like see, you know, give myself answers to questions I wasn't really ready to ask.
Right. That's so
But that's
true.
okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
And
like
then
I've literally lived like a couple of lives this year. Like I
yeah.
really do. I feel like there's been multiple years within this one year. I think we've
Mhm.
had just some such like highs, but also like some lows. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of that stuff? Not really.
no, I
Okay.
I do. I just um we'll probably have to put like a little disclaimer on this episode. I don't really want to cry, but I probably will.
That's
So I'm
okay.
going to start with the beginning of the year. So obviously Guinness had to have surgery. We were planned to leave to Mexico, and Guinness was just like not eating, he was not drinking. And we were like, what is going on with this animal? So we took him to the vet, and he had to have an x-ray. They could see that there was like some sort of blockage, but um, they weren't sure. So they had to do an ultrasound. Then they realized that there was some sort of blockage and they couldn't exactly see what it was. So they ended up keeping him overnight. And like we're panicking because we're leaving for Mexico in like a few days. And my mom and dad are supposed to be watching him while we're gone, which that's already a big ask. And now we're going to have to ask them to like, hey, can you like give him his drugs and make sure he's healing and do all the things?
Mhm.
So, anyways, he had to have surgery to remove what was blocking his intestines. So they removed a peach pit, which is like crazy because we don't even eat peaches. So he must have got it somewhere outside.
Mhm.
Anyways, fast forward to last week. Guinness was doing the same thing. Wasn't eating, wasn't drinking. Um, and we're just like, what the heck? This is so weird. And Dave's like, this is so similar to the last time that I'm freaking out. And like he followed his intuition more so than I did because I was like, oh, it'll be fine. But it was like
Mhm.
Thursday, and Dave's like, listen, I'm not waiting till the weekend because then we have to go to the emergency vet no matter what. So, anyways, we take him to the vet. They do an x-ray. Of course, they can't see anything. They say that there's potentially something there, but to find out what really is going on, we need to do an ultrasound. They don't do ultrasounds. So we have to take him to the emergency vet anyways. So we take him there, they do an ultrasound, and his intestines are literally telescoping on each other. So because there was scar tissue there, his intestines were like twisting up, and just not letting anything pass through. So it was blocking like blood flow, everything. So again, he has to have a second surgery, which, like, if you own any animal, you know that one surgery is insanely expensive, let alone two in 1 year. So financially, I mean, we have insurance, but they don't cover everything. They don't cover taxes. They don't cover certain things, certain medications, all that. So it was still a lot of money out of pocket. So that was just super stressful. Like we're in like super high stress. He's good now. He's like healing and everything, but it's just like this poor animal, two surgeries in 1 year. Like you don't want them to have surgery
At
ever, right?
all. Yeah.
And then come, I guess it was May. I found out I was pregnant, so that was super, super exciting. I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay. It's good to cry though. It's
I
good.
know, but well, haven't really told like a whole lot of people. So I was debating whether or not to share. Um, but once you go through something like this, you realize that it's very lonely, even though there's a ton of people that go through it. Um, it was an early loss, not that that makes really any difference.
No.
I feel like you still plan out everything. You think, oh, when's the due date? How is that going to affect my business? How's that going to affect, you know, our lives? And everything was just so perfect when I had my little guy. Pregnancy was perfect. He was perfect. Everything was just textbook, right? So I was not expecting this. It was super exciting. Dave and I recorded us doing the pregnancy test, so I still have that on my phone. Yeah, I went to my first ultrasound, and it was really odd because they had to do it internally, sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
internally, and which isn't like a really big red flag. Like they have to do that a lot sometimes because
When it's early and stuff.
when
Yeah.
it's early, yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I went to make my appointments for the next thing, I knew that I was 9 weeks. But the girl behind the counter was like, oh, okay, so I just want to book your next appointment. So you're at about 8 weeks. And I corrected her. I was like, oh, no, it's like 9 weeks. And she was like, oh, okay. And then now looking back, I think that that's probably where I lost the baby, was at 8 weeks, because I was only measuring 8 weeks. I don't know for sure, but anyways, it was a very traumatic experience on so many different levels. Loss is hard, obviously, just because it is. It's your baby, right? But I was shooting a newborn session, and the doctor called me, and without even really thinking, she was feeding the baby. So I was like in a break, I was like on my phone. And I saw his number pop up and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna step out and take this call. Because I was thinking he was calling to like make an appointment or whatever. And as soon as I answered the phone, I knew something was wrong. And he told me that there was no heartbeat. And then I had to go in and finish my newborn session. So that was a new adventure. And then when I went to, then I had to go have another ultrasound, which is really weird. And the craziest thing about it was that I had what's called a missed miscarriage, or like a silent miscarriage. So I didn't have any symptoms of a miscarriage. So there's no bleeding, no cramping, no nothing. I still felt pregnant. My body still thought I was pregnant. So that was very weird. When I went in for my second ultrasound, she's like, are you still bleeding? And I was like, no, I haven't bled at all. Like there's no bleeding, no cramping, no nothing. And no shade to her, but this Russian lady who does the ultrasound tech, and she is just
Mhm.
such a twat. I don't know.
Mhm.
If people have been there and you like her, you're a different breed than me because she is just no bedside manner
Yeah.
at all. And maybe that's just her culture and whatever, but like it was super tough. So I feel like that was traumatic. And then when I went to see the actual OB, that was a whole new type of torture. I'm literally in the hospital. I'm sitting outside of their office where they have you sit. And I'm literally listening to a lady have her baby down the hall, which amazing. So happy for you. That's not it. But that was fucking hard to
Yeah.
sit there
Going through what you're
and
going
like
through and having to
listen
face
to
it.
that as you're just going through that. And then I came into the room and she, says all the things, right? And then I went home and whatever. Had to do everything that you have to do for that. So it was very traumatic. It was awful. And then I started a podcast. Literally, like right after. When did we start this? June?
In August. August.
In August. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it August?
Hmm.
That feels way later.
Yeah.
Well, we were preparing for it in like July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Update to add, Krystal and I met for our first podcast conversation on May 29th.
that was definitely the hardest thing. And I say it's been a hard year because I feel like I feel it from then until the rest of my life. I'll always feel it, right? But
Yeah.
I just think that it's a year that I would like to leave behind. It is the year of the snake, which is my least favorite animal, you guys. Okay. My least favorite animal. And it symbolizes like rebirth and a healing. And I don't know, I don't know why people have to walk through this. I think it's awful. It definitely opens your eyes to a lot. And I know that I'm super grateful for the pregnancy that I had. And
And that doesn't take away from
no,
anything either.
of
Yeah.
course not. But I think it just opens your eyes in the sense of like, A, we're just not taken care of as mothers.
Yeah.
Like even the OB said, you should have never had to go for that second ultrasound. If there is no heartbeat at 8 weeks, there is never going to be one. You should have never had to sit in that room again. And she was very upset about that. She said she has already talked to that doctor's office, or sorry, that clinic
Mhm.
about this, which means that more women have went through what I went through, and that's awful. No one's followed up. No one calls. It's awful. It feels very lonely in a world where it happens so often,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, and I'm sure it is a very lonely thing, and I think it's so important. We can absolutely cut this out if you decide after that you don't want to share this right now if you're not ready. But I also think that it's so important, as you're saying, like you're going through this alone, and people don't talk about it enough, and the experience as a whole. Like, yes, we all know people that have miscarried, but all in their own different ways that they've
Right.
gone through, and there is no one way to grieve. So yeah, you're going through a lot of grief right now and you're going to continue to go through that probably forever because it's a loss. It's a huge loss,
Right.
and your feelings are valid and everything that you're going through is completely normal for you.
Thank you.
And I hate that you had to go through that. I hate that you're feeling, this pain right now as well. And that you've just been carrying it silently throughout everything you're doing every single day. So
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't carried it by myself. Obviously, like Dave and, my parents know and a few
Mhm.
close friends know. And obviously those people that you tell really early because you're excited,
Yeah.
um, you have to tell them, which that was hard too, right? But
Did you
but it
find that
also
did you find that having those people, because you had that conversation early on, like letting them know that you were expecting, did you find that it was more helpful to have those people to be able to tell, or do you think that that was a harder conversation to have?
um I mean, obviously it was a very hard conversation to have, but I also think that like there's just, you know, people always say that like 12 weeks is like, that magical moment of being able to share with your family and friends, and that's just not the case, right? So, there was still a baby. It's good to be celebrated, right? And yeah, I'm not disappointed that I told people early. I'm actually think it was probably helpful to like be able to talk through it and have someone to talk to about it,
Mhm.
because it sucks. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's awful. Um, and yeah, just I mean, every loss is so different. But I don't think that there's any like right time to tell people. So, I felt like I wanted to in that moment, and then I had to go and tell them what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the year of the horse. We're ready. 2026.
Getting back on the saddle.
Yeah, getting back on the saddle, so to
Oh,
speak. That's
yes.
funny,
Yeah.
actually. That was a good pun. I liked that.
Oh my God.
No, it's a heavy topic.
Of
Um,
course.
and I'm sorry to anyone else who has been through this, whether it's been a late loss, an early loss, any loss. It's horrible, it sucks, and I never wanted to be 1 in 4, but I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It honestly, I think feels good. I'm leaving this in 2025, Like, obviously, not really, because it's
You're
gonna
still
always
healing.
be there.
Hmm.
And yeah, still healing and all that. But I think it's just like I debated whether or not to share. And I
Hmm.
just thought, this is what we're doing here. We're showing up with our truth. We're showing up and, being honest. And if this is a safe place for, someone to come on and share about this, then, we welcome that, right? So, anywho,
I'm proud of you. I know that's not easy. That's not an easy
thank you.
thing to open up and very vulnerable and to talk about your own personal. This is very personal. This is a
Yeah.
very, vulnerable side to have to open up for. And
I feel like the people who are listening, though, are people that I trust, Like, yeah, I don't know who all is listening, but I feel like they're listening for a reason,
for the right reasons. Yeah.
The right reasons, yeah. So, they want a community, they want that motherhood, So,
Mm.
here we are. I know one other thing that we didn't really ever speak on, and I don't know if you want to speak on it a little bit, but the name change.
Oh gosh. I think we can touch on it gently without
Yeah,
causing too
I
much
think
controversy. I think it's our
I think so too. I
story.
don't think she's
We're allowed.
listening.
I mean, maybe. And if you are,
Maybe.
hey, girl,
Hey,
thanks for being
girl.
here.
How are you? Thank you so much. Um, yeah, so it's so funny. So when Desi and I first started this, we just kind of, it took forever for us to think of a name, eh?
Both times.
Both times. Oh
I feel
God,
like
yeah.
we're still on our third time trying to figure it out, but yeah,
I know. I know. Um,
process that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we had gotten a message, just to kind of say like, hey, you're kind of using a similar name. I don't want you to. And
Hey, that's mine, basically, is
yeah, basically that's mine. And we were like, okay, well, like, I mean, is it? Because like, the the Instagram name was available, like it didn't take me a long time to like, I didn't have to put like numbers and all these different things in to like change it. It just kind of like came up and it was fine. So
And
we
there's
just
a
went
lot
with
of
it.
like because I came up with another one and I was like, oh, I love this, right? And then I looked it up on Spotify and I was like, there is like three of this exact same name, but with podcast or whatever, another word after it. And I'm like, okay, so this is the same thing.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a woman who lives in the States. She's in California. So, I mean, we didn't realize, even after she kind of mentioned it to us, we kind of were like, yeah, but we're not even in the same country. Like, how does that work? And neither of us majored in law. So we don't know how that works. We're just two Canadian moms just over here trying to like, have conversations and help other people.
Yeah.
So when it came to us, it was like, nah, we're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. And I sent it to a friend who is in law, and he was just kind of like, well, just leave it for now and see if anything else comes up. So that's exactly what we did. We just kind of left it. We were like, I mean, who's going to care about, these two girls from Ontario with less than 100 followers on Instagram? We didn't even have 100 followers at that time.
Yeah.
And then fast forward.
Then
And we got served an email, so to speak.
we became an episode of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives or Real Housewives when they do the thing at the end. What's it called? Where they all meet each other on stage and then everyone's like,
reunion.
You served me. Yeah, the reunion where they're all like, you served me a cease and desist. And they're like, it wasn't a cease and desist. Show me proof. And you're like, oh, it was an email saying that I might serve you a cease and desist if you don't stop doing what I'm asking you to do. Which for us, small business girlies in a small town, just taking care of our families, it's like, I mean, it's kind of intimidating to be served an email from somebody who, has done lawsuits for Bloomingdale's and CNN.
So
and
we took that one seriously.
For sure.
And just kind of, we actually did meet with a lawyer, just to kind of go over what our options were. And ultimately, it just came down to, let's just let this go. We're going to leave it in 2025, whatever month that was. And we're just going to change the name, and hopefully that's the end of it.
Yeah. And we'll never speak of this again. This is a one time. I feel like you guys that are here and were curious to know and helped us change the name and everything kind of deserve to know our side of it and what happened. But we'll never speak of the name again. We'll never, go through that chaos again, because we'll just pick somebody else's name next time.
Yeah. And then they won't come at us.
Yeah. But then it was like a lesson of when we were going through the process of choosing a new name, doing our research, figuring it out. Is this a trademark name? Is this something that we can be? And it's like, you're so cautious now, which, okay, I'll take it. Thank you to this woman. This is a lesson learned and going forward. Because at one point our podcast could be on a billboard and then she would be really pissed. Right. So, so I get the lesson behind it and having to get on your toes quickly and figure it out and get moving. But I think we do love the name that we have right now, but I think there's something else for us out there that we just haven't touched on yet. And we'll get there whenever it's meant to be. I'm excited for all the things in 2026 because of the fact that there was a lot going on this year. There was a lot of like, it just feels stale now as you like get to the end of the year. It just feels stale and you're like, I'm ready to just like, refresh everything. You maybe need to sage my house. I don't know what it is, but like I need to do something. I need to gut everything and start fresh.
Yeah. So as I looked up kind of the year of the horse, it's life's going to come at us fast, guys. Life's going to come at us fast in 2026. It's very fast-paced change. It's a year to, go after those goals, go after the things that you want. What else does it say?
Okay, so no hesitating.
Success. Pardon?
No hesitating. All right. It
No
comes up and
hesitating.
you better make a fast decision.
Vitality and passion is the horse. It's a
Okay.
fire element, so that's right up my alley because
Yeah, fire
my
sign.
sign is fire.
Yeah.
And then it's just success through hard work. So I have such, I don't even, usually I make like big goals for every year. And this year I just kind of like, I'm just gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of go into it ready for change, ready for new things, ready for some excitement. And yeah, buckle up, bitches.
Buckle up, bitches. That's gonna be I'm gonna do a vision board. So that'll
Hmm,
be the center
me
line.
too.
Buckle up,
One of
bitches.
my one of my girlfriends is actually hosting like a vision board thing. So I'll send it
Oh,
to
I
you
love
because
that.
we should go. That would be super fun.
Oh, that is awesome. I love that. Yeah, I love doing vision boards just because it kind of like makes me think about what do I actually want this year, and when I look, I should post to our Instagram stories what my vision board was for 2025 because one of the pictures is like one that we took at our shoot,
Oh,
and
cute.
yeah, and then there's a couple other ones where I'm like, didn't do that, didn't do that, didn't do that. My kids are like, you're not financially free, you're not abundant financially, and I was like, yes, I am. It's all in your head, whatever it is.
Out of the
Uh,
mouth of babes.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, we
we're
wanted
running short on time, so we'll go through our questions here. What was the biggest lesson that you learned this year?
I mean, I guess just that like um you walk through seasons of life, you know? There's seasons, right? Um I don't know if that's really a lesson, but yeah, just gotta keep moving forward.
Okay. For me, it was just, I mean, my family is my best friends. Like I just, I had to really like lean on Corey a lot this year, and knowing that he always shows up for me is obviously he's always been there and he's always done that. But it's like this year more than any other time, it was like leaning into them. And as my kids get older, I'm like they literally are like my best friends, and I don't care when people are like, "Oh, you're supposed to parent your kids first," and sure, I do that. They hear my shit all the time, but also I love them and they're my besties. Um, okay. What are you most proud of yourself for this year?
For moving forward. For
Yeah.
moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm proud of myself for showing up, still showing up. You know, obviously I took a little time off. The
Mhm.
universe knew I didn't have, any weddings in July this year, which is
Very
unheard
rare.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the universe just, I guess, knew. So that I needed that time. But yeah, showing up.
Yeah. That's huge. Um, yeah, moving forward, doing the things like not dwelling on the negative mindset that I could have had throughout some stuff. And
Right.
oh, I'm proud of myself for not not going down the hole of like being this shitty person, like not just trashing everybody and being, mean about everything. Like I always, every conversation, I was very intentional in how I have conversations, and never talk shit about people because that's not my place for you to have an idea of what somebody is based on my negative thoughts of them. Like that's not fair.
And
Um,
karma.
hey,
I said, and karma. You don't want to talk bad about
right,
people. It's
right,
karma.
right, 100%. What do you want more of next year?
Oh, I just want more excitement, more fun, more work, more magnets, more money. You know? Take it all.
I I would love more like interaction with the podcast. I would love more friends along for the ride, and yeah,
Definitely more
doing
guests.
yeah.
More guests.
Yeah.
People love it.
I truly love doing this. Like this is the biggest joy of my day sometimes, and yeah, I just love it so much.
Oh, it's so fun. I love it too.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna do my little outro and close off. Is there anything else that you wanted to add into this before we do that?
I just think, whether you had a good year or, a not so good year, there's always 2026, baby.
Moving forward.
Moving forward.
As 2025 comes to a close, this is the reminder that we need to hear. We don't have to become a new version of ourselves to be worthy of what comes next. However, this year showed up, loud or quiet, healing or heavy, it mattered. We mattered in it. And the fact that we are still here, still listening, still reflecting, that counts. Thank you for sitting in this space and allowing honesty to exist here. Take what feels nourishing into the new year and leave the rest behind. We also want to mention that I just sat down. We'll be taking a short 2-week pause to enjoy our holidays with our families. And we will join you again in the new year with new conversations and this space to sit, breathe, and reflect together. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, take care of yourselves gently.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down and now it's already time to get back up again.
Story of our lives. But before we head back into the chaos, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out. We're all just doing our best. 1 cup of coffee and 1 deep breath at a time.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break, because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.
Next week, we're diving into
our 2026 goals and vision board.
It's going to be a good one, so get comfy because by the time you finally sit down, we'll be right here with you.